Okay, everyone, I'm just going to show you a video on how to solve some of these complex word problems involving mixed fractions. So we're going to make sense of them by using simpler numbers. We're going to simplify the complex numbers. So let's look at one of the questions. Let's look at question number 5. So the question says, let's zoom right in on this. Question 5 says, Mackenzie ran the Olympic marathon of 26 and 1/5 miles in a time of 5 and 4/5 hours. How far did she run in 1 hour? Now, for some students, that's quite confusing. So let's first of all make sense of this question. And so what I like to do is simply make the numbers easier. I like to use 4 and 2 whenever possible. So in this example, I'm going to change this to 4, and I'm going to change this to 2. I changed this to 4 because it was the bigger number, and I changed this to 2 because it was the smaller number. So the question now is, Mackenzie ran 4 miles in the Olympic marathon in 2 hours. Right? So Mackenzie ran 4 miles in 2 hours. It then says, how far did she run in 1 hour? So let's convert it. How far did she run? We don't know how far she ran in 1 hour. So that to me is easier to deal with. Mackenzie ran 4 miles in 2 hours. Most of you in your head can already assume that she must run 2 miles in 1 hour. And the reason why you know that is because we have 4 miles, and that's in 2 hours. So there's 1 hour in 1 hour. And then, so I need 2 miles to go there and 2 miles to go there. So really what I'm doing is I'm doing 4 divided by 2. So this was the big number, do you remember? And this was the smaller number. So 4 divided by 2. 4 divided by 2. So now I'm realizing that I need to do 26 and 1/5 divided by 5 and 4/5. So I need to do, so really what it is Mackenzie ran 26 and 1/5 miles in 5 and 4/5 hours. How many miles did she run in 1 hour? So I now know I need to do this divided by this. So now we're getting into the knowledge component of the question. This was all the application. This is the knowledge. So I just have to do 26 and 1/5 divided by 5 and 4/5. And students should know prior to March break how to do this question. Let's make sense of another one. So I won't solve this, but let's do one more. Okay, so let's do one that's let's actually make sense of number 9. Joey entered a hot dog eating competition. He ate 30.5 hot dogs in 3 3/4 minutes. How many hot dogs did he eat in 1 minute? Well, I'm going to change this to 4 because it's the bigger number. And I'm going to change this to 2 because it's the smaller number. So now I have 4 hot dogs eaten in 2 minutes. How many hot dogs in 1 minute? Right away, I know that the answer here is going to be 2. because 4 hot dogs in 2 minutes, that means in 1 minute I'm going to do 2 hot dogs, and then in the next minute I'm going to do another 2 hot dogs. So this is 2. So again, it's 4 divided by 2. So that works nicely for this one. So what that means is I'm doing 30.5 hot dogs divided by 3 3/4. So the operation I have to do is 30.5 hot dogs divided by 3 3/4. And as I said, students know how to make this into improper fractions before doing the flip. Okay? All right, one final one I want to do, and then we're done. I want to do number 8 because number 8 is a bit unique. I can't do 4 and 2. I have a big number here, but watch this. Tiana's car traveled 111 miles on 3/8 of a tank of gas. How far will she be able to go on 1 full tank of gas? This particular case, I can make this 4 miles, make it nice and easy for me to understand. But if I make this 2, it doesn't make sense because look, Tiana's car traveled 4 miles on 2 tanks of gas. I can't really do that. So I'm going to make this easier. I'm going to just make it 1/2. So let's make sense of this question.
Excuse the interruption. Jordy, could you please return
So,
to class immediately?
Tiana
Jordy,
traveled
class, please.
4 miles using 1/2 a tank. How many miles would she use, or how many miles would she go on a full tank? So 4 miles using 1/2 a tank. How many miles using a full tank? So in this case, this is still a bit abstract. What do I do here? Well, I need to do 1/2 times 2 to get me to 1. So I need to do that here as well. So really what I'm doing is I'm doing 4 times 2. So let me just explain that. I'm doing 4 times 2 over 1. And that will give me a full tank. But that's the same as 4 divided by 1/2, isn't it? So I'm doing 4 divided by 1/2 will give me a full tank. So let's plug that back in. 4 is now 111 divided by 3/8. Aha! So I need to do 111 miles. 111 divided by 3/8 is the operation I need to do. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense. And as I said, all students now know what to do when they're dealing with a question like this. They know to flip this, or sorry, change these to a times and to flip this. Okay. Hope that helps.